Then measure for the cuts that'll go around the chimney. Measure the height of the tile in the front, and this gap at the left wall of the chimney, the width of the cutout of the chimney, and the distance from the chimney to the gable. This is the piece that we'll cut next, and it's an important tile to measure and cut correctly, because it's the starting point of the whole chimney layout. That was the one below it. So now my chimney is 12 inches from the gable. Side of my chimney, and I know it's 9.5 inches up. This tile will get bent up the side of the chimney in this area and get mostly cut away here, leaving some overlap for the tile that will go right in front of the chimney. There's the gable side cut line. There's the cutaway. That narrows the width of the bend up area. There's the bend up. And finally, here's the bend up at the gable. This is a pretty good fit. And now we can use this tile to set up the first mark on the tile that will go here. I used the gable tile to locate the corner of the chimney. And I measure for the cutout, which is where this thing will slip in around the chimney. I cut it to a length that leaves about 6 inches on each end so that the joining tiles on the side of the chimney will have something to lap over. Now we need to use the top course bender. This time we're going to bend before we cut. I'll show you why we do it in this sequence later, when I'm cutting tile for the ridge course. Again, lay out the tiles on the ground to make sure that you don't skip or miscut any tiles. You can limit waste by using the other half of a previously cut tile, as long as you still have a factory edge to work with. All these panels that get laid between the chimney and the gable have to be bent up on both sides. Notice that this first cut tile at the bottom of the chimney will bend up the sides of the chimney and also overlap the tile that's in front of the chimney. For cosmetics, cut the panel where the factory seam would be. The panel below the chimney is installed first, and it should extend past both sides 6 inches. At the bottom corners of the chimney, cut 45-degree angles into the bent-up part of the tile, and fold down the 6 inches remaining to allow the first tile on the side of the chimneys to overlap. You'll get a close-up look at this kind of fold on another panel in a few minutes. This overlapping panel wraps down onto the front side so that water will pass onto the tile below. Again, I use the back of my hammer to ensure a tight fit, taking care not to damage the stone coating. Here's the other half panel that overlaps the tile in the front of the chimney. Notice how the bend up wraps around the front of the chimney. Don't be too concerned with the looks of the bend up at the gable. That will all be covered up by the trim caps. It's important not to put a relief cut in the nose of these tiles, or any tiles other than the valley cut, because this will create an entry for water. These side cuts at the top of the chimney get this 45-degree cut that creates a flap that will bend around the back of the chimney. This remaining top portion flattens down to the deck to allow the back chimney flashing to overlap 6 inches onto the tile.